If you're an FRS member, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is treating your pension, drop, deferred comp, and Social Security like separate decisions because they're not separate. They all have to work together. Your pension impacts your guaranteed income for the rest of your life. Your drop payout may impact your liquidity, income planning, your investment strategy. Deferred comp impacts taxes, withdrawals, flexibility. Social Security affects your long term income plan. So the better question is not just how much do I have? The better question is how do all of these pieces work together to create one retirement income plan? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to walk you through a simple 3-bucket framework that you can use to think about your FRS retirement plan. So we're going to talk about guaranteed income. We're going to talk about having buckets of money for income, some money for growth. And just a quick note before we get started, the comments are turned off on this video for compliance reasons. So the best way to let me know that this topic is helpful is to hit the like button. And if you're an FRS member within a few years of retirement, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this channel is built to help you make sense of these decisions before you retire. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people, as they get close to retirement, they're trying to make these decisions one at a time. So they may ask, should I go into drop? Should I roll my drop money over? When should I take Social Security? How should I be investing my deferred comp now and into retirement? Which pension options should I choose? Now, these are all important questions and decisions, but they should not be made in a vacuum because one decision is going to impact the rest of them. So let me give you an example, right? Your pension may cover most of your monthly expenses, or it may not. Your drop payout may need to create income right away, or it may need to stay liquid for larger future expenses. Your deferred compensation might be used to bridge that gap before you start Social Security, maybe even before you're on Medicare. It may be that you leave this money invested for the future. So the goal is not to just have all these different pieces. The goal is to coordinate everything into a retirement income plan. So this is where planning helps create clarity. It helps you see whether your income is enough, what your assets actually need to do for you, what decisions may create problems later. And if they're not all coordinated together, how will you know what to do? The first place that I like to start is looking at your guaranteed income. So for many FRS members, this means looking at your pension. This means looking at your Social Security. So ideally, your guaranteed income is going to be enough to cover your basic living expenses. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to cover every trip or project or car purchase, right? But ideally, you want your guaranteed income to cover the foundation. So think basic living expenses, housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, healthcare, any of those regular monthly bills. Once you know this number, that number, the next question becomes this decision tree for everything else in your financial world. So, do you need more income? This question matters because it changes how we think about drop, deferred comp, IRAs, 403bs, other investments that you might have. Let's think about an example. So, let's say 2 FRS members both retire with a pension and $300,000 in their drop payout, but they need completely different strategies. One person may have enough guaranteed income from their Social Security and pension that they can use their drop payout mostly for flexibility, travel, emergencies, growing for the future. And another person may need that same drop payout to cover their monthly income. So same benefit, completely different plan. That's why the first question is not just how much do I have? The better question is what do I need this money to do? So a simple way to think about your FRS retirement plan is with 3 buckets. Okay, so bucket 1 is going to be your guaranteed income, Social Security and pension. Bucket number 2 is going to be your discretionary income bucket. So this could be a portion of your drop account, your deferred comp, IRAs, 403bs, other savings that you may have. And we may need to use some of that to create discretionary income in retirement. Now, bucket 3, this is your growth bucket. This is money that's designed to grow over time to help offset inflation, future expenses, long-term needs. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this: every dollar needs a job. This is not about putting every account in some random category. It's about deciding what each dollar needs to do in your plan. So your FRS pension is usually the foundation for your retirement income. Many say to employees, this is going to be the closest thing to having a regular paycheck in retirement, right? Your pension, your Social Security, these are going to be two sources of guaranteed lifetime income, and ideally, they're going to cover most of your basic living expenses. So if they do, this is going to give you more flexibility with your drop account or deferred comp or your other savings vehicles. But if they do not cover all of your basic living expenses, or maybe they cover the basics but not the entire retirement lifestyle you want, then these other assets, they need to produce income. That's why the first question is not just how much is my pension, it's how much income do I need and how much of that is already going to be covered by my pension and by Social Security. This is going to give you a much, much, much clearer starting point, because if your guaranteed income is not enough, then the next step is to decide how much income you need coming in from your drop account, deferred comp, or other savings. This is then going to become your income bucket. This income bucket may be designed to provide income right away, or it may be used more like discretionary expenses like travel, larger purchases, home updates, other lifestyle expenses. So let me give you an example. If your pension and your Social Security cover your regular monthly bills, then you may not need more monthly income coming in from drop or deferred comp, but you may still want a bucket that is for discretionary income that you can draw from occasionally throughout the year for trips or emergencies or larger expenses. On the other hand, if your pension and Social Security leave a monthly gap, then yes, and a portion of your drop account or deferred comp needs to be positioned to create regular monthly income for you. The right amount is going to depend on your actual income needs in retirement, not just the size of the account. So once you determine what needs to be set aside for income, that means the remaining money in drop and deferred comp can now be positioned for growth. The growth bucket is important because retirement can last 20, 25, even 30 years into the future. Costs, we know, are going to increase over time. Your spending needs may change over time. Healthcare costs may increase. You may need your money to keep working for you long after that last paycheck. And that's the purpose of this growth bucket, is to help offset inflation, support future income needs, and give your plan room to keep working over time. Depending on your situation, some of this money may still be left to grow until required minimum distributions begin. This can make a lot of sense for certain tax-deferred accounts, but it also means taxes and future RMDs need to be part of the conversation. The key is not to invest every account the same way. The income bucket should be invested for income, and the growth bucket should be invested for long-term growth. So if a bucket has a different job, it's going to need a different investment strategy. So this is where drop deferred comp can become very important planning tools, and neither one should be viewed in isolation. So we may need a portion to go towards this income bucket. We may need a portion to stay liquid, a portion to be in this growth bucket, and we need to manage all of this very carefully because of taxes. So, for example, let's say that you retire before you start taking Social Security. So, you could use your drop, you could use your deferred comp to help bridge the gap. Now, if most of your income is already covered, those assets may be used more for, again, discretionary spending, future needs, long-term growth. And if most of your money is in those tax deferred vehicles, then withdrawals, Roth conversions, Medicare premiums, future required minimum distributions, these may become actually bigger planning issues. This is why coordination matters. Your drop payout's not just a lump sum. Your deferred comp is not just an account balance. Your Social Security is not just a monthly check. Each piece has a job. And the right plan should define what that job is. The mistake that I want you to avoid is making permanent retirement decisions one at a time, like choosing a pension option without understanding the impact on your spouse, like rolling over your drop without knowing what that money is supposed to do for you and your plan, leaving deferred comp invested the same way it was while you were working. Or how about claiming Social Security without understanding how this affects your full retirement income plan? Retiring without knowing how much monthly income you can actually spend, right? None of these decisions happen in isolation, and some of them are very hard, if not impossible, to undo. This is why we want to slow down and we want to look at all of these pieces together before you make final decisions. Because retirement planning isn't about just having money, right? It's about making decisions that feel good years from now in the future. If you're trying to organize your own retirement picture, here's a simple place to start. Step one, list every income source and account. Include your pension estimate, Social Security estimate, your drop account, deferred comp. Also think about any other assets like 403Bs, IRAs, Roth IRAs. And you're going to want to note, how is each of those accounts taxed, right? Is it taxable? Is it tax deferred? Is it a Roth, which means it might be tax-free? This matters because income planning and tax planning are connected. Step two, identify if there are any income gaps. So look at your guaranteed income from your pension, from your Social Security, and compare that to your basic living expenses and your desired lifestyle. And ask yourself, do I need more income? If the answer is yes, then you need to decide where that income will come from. If the answer is no, then your drop payout and other savings now may have more flexibility. Step three is to assign each bucket, each account, a job. So decide how much should be used for income, decide how much should remain liquid and flexible, and then how much should be invested for future growth. Next, you want to make sure that each bucket is invested according to its job, right? This is the beginning of a retirement rehearsal. You're testing the numbers before you jump into retirement. If you're an FRS member and you're starting to think seriously about retirement, the next step is to look at your own numbers and how they all fit together. So look, your pension, drop, deferred comp, Social Security, savings, and taxes should not be viewed as separate decisions. They need to be coordinated into one retirement income plan. To help you start organizing these pieces, you can download the FRS retirement checklist using the link in the description box. This checklist is going to help you think through some of the key decisions to review before you retire. And if you're ready for help looking at your own numbers, you can also request our financial planning intake form. Once we receive your information, our team will review it, and then we're going to reach out to schedule a time for a consultation. You've worked hard to build these benefits, your pension, drop, deferred comp, Social Security, and these should not feel like separate puzzle pieces for you, scattered across the table. They should all be working together. So before you make any major retirement decisions, sit down and ask yourself, how does this fit into the bigger plan? That question can help you avoid making mistakes, reduce second guessing, and make decisions that support the life that you want to live in retirement. So if this video was helpful today, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're an FRS member getting close to retirement, make sure to subscribe for more videos so you can make clear, confident retirement decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.